Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Dr. Thamar E. Gindin. Gindin is from home, Eilam is from my children's father, and Doctor is from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. I got my PhD in Iranian linguistics, 2005, supervised by Professor Shaul Shaked, who is one of the leading Iranists in the world today. Ask me, what do you do with Iranian linguistics? Okay, I lecture. I know Persian from Ahasuerus to Ahmadinejad. If we have time at the end of the lecture, I'll teach you the accent of present-day Persian. When I was an impudent BA student in 1996, second-year student, I asked my master and teacher, Professor Shaul Shaked, to give a Purim lecture, an Iranistic reading in the Scroll of Esther, on the first meeting, on the first session of the second semester. He accepted. I organized the publicity. I baked tiny little chocolate Hamantaschen. I brought a lot of people, and he gave a wonderful lecture that almost got to the end of chapter 1. The year after, I asked him again to give a Scroll of Esther lecture. He gave a lecture only about the names in the Scroll of Esther. The year after, I told him the first session of the second semester, give a lecture on the Scroll of Esther. He said, this year you. Since then, I've been giving the lecture on the Scroll of Esther every year, first only in the university, then also in paying companies or parties. And then in 2005, after appearing in London and Kirschenbaum in the television, that was my first television appearance, I got requests for other lectures, also lectures that are not only connected to Purim. So from this Scroll of Esther lecture sprang the lectures Pajamas in Paradise, Iranian Influences on Our Language and Cultures, Shampoo in Paradise, about languages in contact, all sorts of languages about Iran in the last 3,000 years, including present-day Iran, including a lecture about women in Iran, where I come with hijab, and at the end of the lecture, the women can take their own pictures with hijab, including lectures about Hebrew and about other languages. So I started from an Iranian linguist, and now I'm an Iranist and a linguist and everything. After every lecture about the Scroll of Esther, people asked me, when are you publishing your book? For 17 years, my answer was, next year. This year, for the first time, I had a free February, but I only knew it in January. So I didn't have enough time or money to publish my book in with a real publisher, so I turned to crowdfunding. Crowdfunding means the book is actually pre-sold. People paid for the book before I wrote it, or during the time I wrote it, and it's tons of adrenaline. Some of them got the physical book, some of them got the digital book, some of them got keychains, all kinds of perks. When I passed the 100%, I got 174% funding during that campaign. When I passed it, I also added 2 free lectures for my companions. I call them companions and not contributors because they helped me choose the name of the book, they helped me choose the cover. It was supposed to be Esther giving birth to Cyrus, but because most of them were religious, they asked me not to put a naked woman on the cover. It's not even inside. They chose the name of the publication house, and the book was out. I'm very proud of it. I'm so proud of it, I'm going to translate it to English and Persian this year, and I'm launching another international crowdfunding campaign this week, as soon as the video is ready. I'm launching a crowdfunding campaign, which is where I need your help. You have these wonderful, beautiful bookmarks, which Ali printed for me. I sent him the graphics Monday morning, and I got the bookmarks Tuesday morning. They have questions on them. So from now until I have 2 minutes to the end of the lecture, you look at these questions and you just ask me questions. Okay? Now you're getting a lecture sample. Any question you want, including.
Mom, why are you wearing a t-shirt?
Oh, that's an excellent question. This t-shirt, which has your name in Old Persian cuneiform, is one of the treats, one of the perks in my upcoming crowdfunding campaign. It says your name.
So why do we eat hamantaschen?
Why do we eat hamantaschen? First of all, in Yiddish, moyen is poppy, and hamantashen are made with poppy. But why do we say ears, right? In the Iranian media, every year at Purim, they say the Jews eat ears of Iranians in Purim. I kid you not. Well, why ears? Because in the ancient world, actually, the word ears is documented in Italy as early as the 15th century. In the ancient world, people who were about to be executed, their ears were cut off. Actually, the most similar story to the Scroll of Esther in Persian history, which is the ascension of Darius to the throne, includes an imposter king whose ears were cut off. This is how they recognized that he's not the real king. They asked the girl, there is a girl who married the king, and she is asked to feel at night after he falls asleep whether he has ears or not. So the ears are important in order to know that he was executed at the end. You will never eat hamantashen again, I know. Yes, other questions?
I'd like to know why they were marinated in perfume.
As you remember, the girls were marinated for a whole year in perfume before coming to the king. Because smell is a very, very important aspect of ancient Persian, actually to this day, of Persian culture. For example, one of the characteristics of hell is that it stinks. Hell is cold and stinky. Heaven has a good weather and good smell.
Did you really have a house full of women?
Did he really have a house full of women? Actually, he had 3 houses of women. One was for noble queens, one was for concubines, and one was for slaves. The queen mother, and the major queen, the principal queen, lived in the palace with the king.
How come the king can't reverse his own edict?
How come the king can't reverse his own edict? Actually, one of the 3 things that Persians used to teach their sons is to be honest, and they just never broke promises. There are stories that Greek historians tell us about Persian kings who wanted to execute someone, but someone else, their mother or the commander of their army, promised them safety, so they couldn't execute them. Or when Ahasuerus himself, Xerxes in Greek, promised his love to give her anything she wants, and she asked for the gown that his principal queen gave him, he had to give it to her because he promised. And there's a lot of blood afterwards. What's the story with half the kingdom? What's the story with half of the kingdom? It connects to the same story. When the girl asked for his gown, he was so afraid of his principal queen, and rightfully so, that he promised her cities and armies and whatever she asked. So we don't know if it really happened that kings gave half the kingdom. Well, we know it never happened, but they promised cities and armies. 2 minutes. Okay, so what can you do for me? In order to make me referrals, first of all, share my stuff. For example, this lecture is being videotaped, and you can share it on Facebook, on social networks, and emails, and everything. Is someone going abroad for the holidays? Okay, take a bunch of these bookmarks and spread them. I will need help spreading my campaign, which is going up, which is launching this week. Yair, can you show them the cups? These cups are not only referrals when you buy them, they also generate referrals for me when you have people drink from them, because they have parts and pieces of my lectures of Pajamas in Paradise and Shampoo in Paradise, and of the wonders of the Persian language. They're in Hebrew, and when people drink, they also read, and then they say, wow, that's interesting. On the other side, that's her website. You can give them my website, they'll read it. If they like it, they'll come to me. Another way to publish me is to buy my books and put them, I always say, put my books in the little room in the house. okay? Because this is where your guests
The
read. Yeah. I want my guests to read. You can also, buying my books is also a referral to me, and people who are buying this book will get a link to pay through the crowdfunding campaign, because I want it to be full when I really start publishing it. End or 60 seconds?
I guess.
Okay, not 60 seconds. If you want to hear more, and if you want to hear about the connection between Rosh Hashanah and Purim, Pesach, the Mimuna, and Chanukah, come tomorrow night to Hod Vadal congregation in Kfar Saba. I'm giving there a lecture, and I hope to see you all. Thank you very much.